Welcome back to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm Darren McBreen, and we have some interesting developments concerning the guy whose video has gone viral. This was his confrontation with InfoWars reporter Dan Bidandi. I'm sure most of you have seen the video. It went viral. His name is Roger Nicholson. He is an angry Boston resident, and he has, well, an extensive profane vocabulary, and he's been attacking InfoWars religiously for the past couple of weeks. He even appeared on MSNBC a couple of days ago to discuss his confrontation with Dan Bidandi and tell everyone that he thinks Alex Jones is completely insane, along with all of you out there, all of you unpatriotic people who follow InfoWars. And we are now joined by InfoWars News Director Rob Dew. You had an explosive interview with this guy just a couple of days ago, and then I'm sitting here preparing for the news today. I get a phone call, and it's Roger. And he was, I guess, I don't think he expected all of the attention that he got from InfoWars. I think he pictured us as like some kind of internet live stream or something very small. He was bragging about being on national on MSNBC. He agreed to come on our show, and then he called us today, and I passed the phone on to you. What do you have to say?
Right. Well, Roger was very concerned. Paul Watson wrote an article that appeared today. It was May 2nd today. MSNBC guest who attacked InfoWars exposed. And basically it goes into this video that someone pulled off of his YouTube site and posted it up, which is a common thing. People do it all the time. People grab other people's videos and post them up, and that's kind of a good reason that YouTube, I like that existence of it, that, you know, you might stamp out one fire, but then it grows and whatever. But that video is called Roger Nicholson, Guy Who Confronted InfoWars is a Psychopath. And he did not like the fact that we had that video. He said, you know, he called up saying, you guys are, it's a copyright
violation. Yeah,
and I said, well, let me look at it. And I went and looked at the video. I said, well, that's not a channel associated with us. We just embedded that video. So we're not actually housing it on our website. It's not a copyright violation.
He's got to go after the guy who posted it on YouTube to begin with, right?
It's none of our business.
Exactly.
Basically is what I told him. I said, you know, we have nothing to do. We're posting that video, and no, we're not taking it down. I mean, you know, and he goes, well, you know, I kind of stepped in it. I kind of, you know, got what he kind of said he got what he deserved in terms of he attacked us. He fired the first shot by going after Bidandi and then posting that, thinking, you know, he was a big shot, trying to take this moral high ground with Dan because Dan was asking questions. And but I want to go to this article real quick. It's from Paul Joseph Watson. It's called MSNBC Guest Who Attacked InfoWars Exposed. Boston resident Richard Nicholson appeared on MSNBC last week with Martin Bashir to discuss his confrontation of InfoWars reporter Dan Bidandi. Actually, it wasn't last week. It was
just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago, Tuesday. During which Nicholson accused Bidandi of creating offensive show material, which was insensitive to the victims of the marathon bombings by doubting the official narrative behind the attacks. So from there, we go to the other video that shows Roger on, I guess it's somebody's Access TV show, and they're making fun of the Iraqis getting machine gunned. And it's that footage where it's all, you know, kind of computerized, and he's making jokes. This is not real. These aren't people. Snides Nicholson as he laughs at the sight of a man being blown to pieces. Do you see this right here? This used to be a person. Now look at him. He's a wet spot on the side of the road. Jeez. Remarks Nicholson, adding, I don't know why you just can't laugh at it and get all upset and weepy. And, you know, so here he is trying to say, well, these bombings happen. I knew a friend there, and that was his big beef, that he knew somebody who was there. So he's able to take the moral high ground and say, you can't say anything about these bombings because I knew someone there. Yet, if it's other people in other countries that were attacking, by the way, you know, the Iraq war, based on a lie, and I actually told him this morning.
I said, and he had no problem with Obama drone striking people either. You guys touched on that a little bit.
I touched on that a little bit. He claims he didn't hear me say about killing the kids. He said he didn't hear, that was an audio glitch, and maybe he didn't hear me.
Skype was cutting out a couple times, maybe.
Right, right. And you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Talking to him on the phone, you know, I don't think he's remorseful of what he said. He was, you know, he came out and said what he said, and he knew what he was saying, and he knew the name calling and kind of these ad hominem attacks. You know, I don't know if that's his strategy, but it doesn't work with InfoWars because, you know, we provide articles, and it's not even articles that we wrote. We were providing other people's material, the FBI connections, the CIA connections,
the New York Times,
the Russian government coming after us. And so I think at the end, you know, he just wasn't interested in debating facts. You called him or contacted him on Monday.
Yep.
Said, hey, let's do a debate. And, you know, we didn't state any rules. It was just, we're going to debate about these bombs.
Well, he was concerned we're going to edit him and take him out of context.
Right. The only thing we edited were the curse words.
Yeah,
you know, that was it.
He had quite the vocabulary.
He's got a gunny sack full of that stuff. And, you know, he wasn't interested in debating on facts or just even looking at what other people have said about this. He was just interested in attacking InfoWars because I guess we've gotten to the size where people think if they just say, you guys are crazy, that other people are going to believe it. You know, you have these Rachel Maddow attacks. She's done 2 attacks now on us. The second, which, you know, I was pretty good, that hashtag InfoWars pickup lines. She tried to be all clever, like, oh, people are making fun of these InfoWarriors. Well, we went and co-opted it and then started putting up real information, which I'm sure they hated. And we can go to that Twitter page there. Was started by a troll, but co-opted by Liberty lovers. You're hotter than the thermite used on Building 7, you know, and that was ours. And then other people got in on it, and just, you know, info bombing them with truth. Because they can't stand up to it. They can say we're crazy. They can
can't
say
handle
all
the
this
truth.
Stuff. Exactly. They can't. They really can't handle the truth. And you know, we gave Rachel Maddow the Skeksis Award last week for her first attack, and then, you know, we let her go on her second attack. We didn't really say anything, but then we just co-opted her little media blitz on a Twitter page. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I do want to go over a couple things. We have, you know, a new article came out today, and this is from this can'tbehappening.net. Sarnoff brothers had a CIA connection. We posted this today on InfoWars. And if you scroll down to the middle of the article, you know, it talks about Chechen terror and stuff in Russia. It says, now it turns out these 2 young men suspected of having placed the exploding pressure cooker bombs at the finish line of the marathon, the slain Tamerlan Sarnoff and his imprisoned younger brother, Jakar, have an Uncle Ruslan. Remember Uncle Ruslan, who went on and said these people are scum to me and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
He changed his name from Sarnev after immigrating to the U.S., who was, until 1999, married to Samantha Fuller, daughter of a high-ranking CIA operations officer named Graham Fuller. Fuller, who called any suggestion of links between his former son-in-law and the CIA absurd. I think that's what he's paid to do at that point. Sure. Retired from the agency and went to work for who? The Rand Corporation.
Oh, what a coinkydink.
Yeah, and if you look at if you go to a Google map and look at the Rand Corporation, it looks like a giant eye. And I'll show them. You can go to that on overhead cam if you can hit it. That's what it looks like from above. It's a building that's shaped like an eye, and in front of the building there's a giant chain link sculpture that's a mushroom cloud right across the street from it.
There you go. There's some details. The building shot right there, Marcus.
Yeah, there you can see the chain link mushroom cloud, which people say, you know, oh, that's totally unrelated. Why is it sitting right out front of the Rand Corporation? Yeah. And then there's an overhead view right there. You can actually see it makes a giant eye. And it's right there in Santa Monica near that famous pier, you know, like a couple blocks from there. I actually went with Alex and we shot a few videos in front of it when we were in LA for some reason. Oh, for Jesse Ventura's birthday, actually.
Oh, cool.
That was quite an interesting event. And then the other, you know, there's a Mail Online article. Russia warned FBI about Boston bomber multiple times, but feds are more interested than Al-Qaeda than the Chechens. And we also have a London Telegraph article that they interviewed him in 2011, the FBI did. And yet we're supposed to think these guys have no idea, the FBI have no idea who these guys are after they've been casing the family for years.
Besides the fact that the FBI has a long history of you know, false flag terror attacks, Oklahoma, I was going to say World Trade Center 1993 and so on.
Right, and we went into that. And now I want to go to a video clip, and this is actually from World Trade Center 93, the bombing in 93. The informant that the FBI had on their payroll paid him $1.5 million, Ahmad Salam. And he actually started taping conversations with his FBI handlers. And he's talking about, it starts off the clip, the FBI agents telling him, you know, you got to turn in your expenses the right way. So that way, you know, this is a government operation because everything's got to be done by the book. You know, if we're gonna like create bombs and we got to do it all by the book, and it all has to be expense reported. And then it goes into Salam talking about the bomb.
Well, that's the thing. Everything was documented, and this guy bugged the FBI basically to save his ass.
Kind of turned the tables on him. So let's go to that clip now.
And to be a nice payment. I'm just telling you for the future and what the expenses, they just don't want to buy in on $500 of expenses. That's all. Well, you're just going to have to give me the some of the expenses, and they'll pay what operationally they are allowed to pay.
Let me think about it.
Don't think it. There's nothing to think about.
Of course I have to think about it.
You got paid regularly for good information.
If that's what you think, guys, fine. But I don't think that, because we was start already building the bomb, which is went off in the World Trade Center. It was built by supervision from the Bureau and the GA, and we was all informed about it, and we know that the bomb start to be built. By who? By your confidential informant. What a wonderful, great case.
Well,
And then he put his head in the sand.
And that was the FBI informant Ahmad Salam.
That is amazing.
Basically, that was just one of the conversations. There's like 900 pages of these transcripts. And William Kunstler, in a news report a long time ago, said it's gross government misconduct. I think everybody at that time was so shocked because this stuff really hadn't come out in the open of the FBI getting these informants and stuff. I think people just didn't even really want to believe it back then.
And I remember Dan Rather reported on it, and some people say, well, look, the mainstream media reported on it, but like we say, they didn't beat the drum. I mean, it went once and it disappeared.
It wasn't like Benghazi.
Exactly,
which
exactly.
That's sort of a political football, but it's still wrong.
Yeah.
The whole thing is wrong, but because it was a political thing, then Fox News jumped on it. But with this World Trade Center thing, it's Muslim terrorists. We all got to just get behind and go after the Muslim terrorists.
Hey, what do you want to say to the people out there who, because I know that Roger is getting a lot of hate mail. He says he's even getting threats.
Yeah.
Let's address that a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not running protection or cover for this guy at all. I mean, he made his own decisions.
Absolutely.
He said what he wanted to say. We gave him the opportunity to come on and debate, and he wasn't interested in that. So I think now he's realized that he's bit off a little bit more than he can chew. But what I want to say to the info warriors out there is, if you want to go comment on his stuff, put stuff on his Facebook, come with an open hand, not with a closed fist. Send him articles, send him videos, send him stuff that he probably won't look at. I sent him a ton of articles after our debate saying, hey, just take a look at this stuff, and maybe make a video, saying, hey, well, I looked at some of this information, and some of it may have a point here, as the reason why they said the FBI might be involved in this.
You never know. I've seen people much further deep into the matrix who have actually woken up.
Right, and all you can do is plant a seed. You got to plant the seed because maybe Roger is a catalyst for 1,500 other people across the U.S. to wake up and be like, wow, I really thought these guys were crazy, but now I look at this other guy just totally attacking them with name calling and not even talking about the facts of anything, just like all this name calling and ad hominem attacks instead of looking at the facts and even arguing about the facts. Because let's argue about the facts if you want to do that. So I would say just go after. Don't go after Roger. Let's go after the system. But feel free to send Roger information. I think we should all inform people, especially when they are asleep. And hey, if they don't want to learn, move on. There's plenty of other people out there that need to be awakened. There's a lot of people that just since we've started getting bigger in the last year or so, just like really started ballooning up. I get a lot of emails. Man, I just woke up. I don't know what to do. These people who are just like they're coming up for air. They've been underwater for so long, oppressed by this system that wants to control you and make you do things that you're not really interested in doing, but you think you have to do it because the system tells you that way.
Yeah.
So,
and before we go, it reminds me of, and I understand we have Luke on the phone, so we'll cut this short, but everybody knows where they were. Let's say if you're old enough to witness the Kennedy assassination, everybody can tell you exactly where they were at the time. Yeah. Everybody knows where they were during 9/11. And, we get the same thing, maybe not the actual moment, but the year. Like we'll say, we get people saying, I've been awake. My uncle woke me up in 2005. Right. Or you woke me up. InfoWars woke me up after I saw, a certain video or whatever by Alex. And I've been awake since 2008. Once you're awake, you can never go back to sleep.
You can never go back to sleep. I get a lot of people who wake up after all the stuff we did on the underwear bomber. And I would have loved to debate him on that because I feel that is, I hit that thing on the ground running, like right when it happened. We were making Police State 4. I started putting all the information together. I studied that subject left and right. I went up and visited Kurt Haskell.
Right. You were there
did
with Kurt
a
Haskell.
2-hour interview with him. And to me, it's an open and shut case.
Absolutely.
And the book is that Patrick Kennedy testimony where he says, you know, we let him get on. We didn't cancel his visa because we wanted to look at his larger network. But then they act like, oh, we didn't know this guy was going to go. Now we need body scanners, which is total bull.
That's right.
The important thing about the Pro 1 filter today is that the material we use for removing fluoride and other heavy metals now will remove the latest form of fluoride called hydrofluorosilicic acid. There's no other fluoride reduction filter out there that will remove that type of fluoride. And it's extremely important because today we're hearing more and more cities are using that form of fluoride.
We've been having medication forced on us through the water system for quite a while. Most people don't realize it. Most people don't realize the negative effects of fluoride.
There's a wide range of health effects that are attributed to fluoride.
Bottom line, why should somebody get this new Pro 1 ProPure filter?
The reason to buy the Pro 1, it's an all-in-one filter. It's convenient, easy to use. It doesn't require the add-on fluoride filter. And in addition, this filter removes the latest form of fluoride called hydrofluorosilicic acid.